the past. I'm sure that some of you have seen what I call the Keke diplomacy, because I think she's using Keke Napep to travel. She's been to Lagos, she has been to Calabar, they have been to Bayelsa. I'm sure they have been to one or two places also in the heartland of Biafraland. They have also been to Niger State to go and see Abdul Salami Abubakar. They're everywhere. And they even invited Tinubu to come and make a speech in the north to try to reinforce, should I say, this fake unity between the Yorubas and the Fulanis. Why I'm saying this is because history has a very funny way of representing itself, especially in Africa. And this evening, if we pay attention to what I have to say, it will go a long way in trying to liberate our people from the shackles of mediocrity, stupidity, and neocolonialism. Arochiukwu fell in 1904. I want to pay attention this evening. Arochiukwu, our spiritual capital, the spiritual capital of Biafra land, because all of them calling themselves, I'm from a job, most of them are from Arochiukwu, of course, we know that for sure. Arochiukwu, the same way you have the house of Levi or Levi in Israel, is how you had the house of Arochiukwu as well. They are a priestly clan. Dedicated to the service and worship of the Almighty God in heaven. Hence their name Arochiukwu. That was our temple. Britain had to destroy it in 1904. The reason why they destroyed it was to try to prove to themselves that these people do not have any history. Because the people without history is a lost race. Because see, they asked the white man after independence in 1960 about the great Biafran people, and they said that we have no history. They forgot to tell you that they destroyed our temple so that they can bring their own version or understanding or knowledge of God to us. I remember somewhere in Oka, they called it Henry. A Roman Catholic priest was preaching to him, telling him about God and having to give his life to Jesus Christ. And this Henry told him that he is not qualified to preach God to him because he himself is directly descended from God Almighty in heaven. That we are ancient people, that we knew God before anybody else. Because see, they asked the white man after independence in 1960 about the great Biafran people, and they said that we had no history. They forgot to tell you that they destroyed our temple so that they can bring their own version or understanding or knowledge of God to us. I remember somewhere in Oka, they called it Henry. A Roman Catholic priest was preaching to him, telling him about God and having to give his life to Jesus Christ. And this Henry told him that he is not qualified to preach God to him because he himself is directly descended from God Almighty in heaven. That we are ancient people, that we knew God before anybody else. This is a slight detour, but I'm trying to build a foundation for people to actually, give greater understanding and meaning to what I have to preach this very evening. Arochiukwu fell in 1904 after many years of war. Even when Arochiukwu fell, the same way we have ESM today, we formed a Kumeku then. 7 sons from Arochiukwu traveled all the way to Anioma to go and form a Kumeku that you hear today in Anioma, which is the Northern Delta State. And they continued fighting every inch of the way. But let me tell you something, before Nigeria was formed, Britain had to destroy the one spiritual center that brought enlightenment to the people. Without the fall of Arochiukwu, there wouldn't have been anyone in Nigeria, because barely 10 years after the fall of Arochiukwu, the zoo was created. Effectively, the amalgamation took place, giving birth to this so-called one Nigeria in the year 1914. And let me tell you why Arochiukwu fell. And you must pay attention this evening. Arochiukwu fell because the white man attacked Arochiukwu with about 1,700 heavily armed men. Attacked our temple in Arochiukwu. It's something that Tatuna Line is doing today. Because anywhere the woman visits, anytime the woman leaves her office in Abuja to travel all over the place, death always follows her. Go and check it anywhere. It was when she traveled to Gansi Tinubu during NSAS protest that the army opened fire. That woman is a blood-sucking demon. Tatuna Line. Listen very carefully to what I have to say this evening. After the fall of Arochiukwu in 1904, they amalgamated the zoo in 1914. And they asked Lugard, why are you amalgamating the North and the South? He said, because the North is poor. Till today, the North is still very poor, dependent on the South to survive. That is why they have this stranglehold over our oil and gas. The only, should I say, item uniting the zoo together. How did they manage to succeed? How did they manage to succeed in taking Arochiukwu? They used Igbo people to take Arochiukwu. The same thing they're trying to do today, trying to use Biafrans to destroy what IPOB is doing. The same way that the white man used Ghanaians to defeat Nigerians. In those days, they went to Gold Coast, Britain, raised an army, a force called the West Africa Frontier Force. British-led, of course. It was Ghanaians fighting alongside white people that helped them to colonize the place we call Nigeria today. It's a very simple tactic they've used over the centuries. But if you're not educated, if you're not enlightened enough, if you don't have any self-worth nor pride, you won't understand or appreciate what I'm saying. They came to Arochiukwu, it fell in 1904. How did it fall? Because there were some people who were criminals. Some people who were sold. Because in those days, before they sell you as a slave, you must have committed something. The same way you are today, some of you driven away from IPOB. We chased you away because you are evil. You know what the British did in preceding before 1904? Whenever somebody is cast away from his village, regardless of whatever that crime may have been, in those days they are sold. Some were criminals, some engaged in behavior that was considered so antisocial that they have to remove them from the Omona, from the clan itself, which is the highest, punishment you can give to anybody who is from Biafra, is to remove them from the Omona clan or his kindred. Do you know what Britain did? Britain waited, kept taking all these people who were disgruntled, took them to Ubuta. You see Ubuta? That was where they housed, they camped them in Ubuta, waiting and waiting. So those people were very upset, very angry. The same way that some governors are today with IPOB, ESN, the usual way they do things. They camped them at Ubuta until they wanted to launch the final assault on our temple in Arochiukwu in 1904. They now went and brought these people. They told them, if you destroy this temple, this is the temple, these are the people that have made your life a misery. These are the people that wanted to sell you. You must now come and help us to destroy them. And I must also warn you so that you must know this. The reason why the likes of Zeke were produced in our land, the reason why things are the way they are in Biafra was because our forefathers, our ancestors did not give their first son or their first sons to the white man to train. They gave them their servants because they felt that the white man was going to experiment with our people. So most of the people that they trained, that went to all those missionary schools, and some of them traveled abroad and came back, did not quite understand what it means to be a Biafran. An Igbo Biafran, an Efik Biafran, and a Ibibio Biafran, they never knew anything. Most of them were slaves. They didn't quite know because the custodian, the upholder in every family, the spiritual guide and light of every home is the first son. Even the way it is in the Bible. That is why the first son always received double portion of the father's inheritance. When the white man came, our fathers did not give them our first sons. We said no to them. We gave them those that, should I say, that came after the first son. Why am I telling you this thing this evening is because they have come again. Britain has come again with the same method, the same modus operandi. That's the way they always operate. They try to use you to destroy yourselves. They took this man to Arochiukwu. A force of 1,700 men attacked Arochiukwu in 1904, mostly from Uguta. These were rejects, outcasts, those who were criminals in our villages. Britain assembled them. That is gone through the something that BBC was doing today, and used them to attack Arochiukwu. And Arochiukwu fell. Our own people actually destroyed their own temple. In the year 1960 to 1967, they did the same thing as well. They groomed saboteurs of the highest grade, like Okpabia Sika. Frontline saboteurs. For 7 years, they groomed them. So that when they started the slaughter of Biafrans in the north, they engaged them to try to castigate Ojukwu and to run our eternal leader, Dim Chukwuemeka down. And after the war, the lives of Okpabia Sika was compensated. The same thing that they're doing today, trying to use some of you who are ignorant of history. The same way they're trying to use Tinubu in the West. The same way they used Afonja in Yoruba land. None of you ever learn. You have history, you study it. Some of you are intelligent enough to go through history books. You know all these things, but you fail to learn from it. What is the difference between today and when Hausa land was taken? What is the difference between today and when Nupe land was taken in Niger State? What is the difference between today when Jukun land was taken? What is the difference between today and when Bagi land was taken from Bagi people by Fulani? What is the difference between today, what the governors are doing and what the likes of Tinubu are doing to what Hausa peasants did to themselves many years gone by? Every time I come here and I preach to you to understand the dangers you are facing and the danger you're in your useless one Nigeria, you don't want to reason, you don't want to think very well. I have told you severally, if you stay in one Nigeria, you become Fulanized. They will take you over. Fulani will emasculate you with help of the British. Because Britain need idiots to be in power in Abuja for them to continue to take our oil and gas for free. It's a very simple program they have. All the oil companies are in it together. Ajib, ExxonMobil, Halliburton, Texaco, Eni, Elf, Mobil, name them, they're all in it together. Why will they allow you to have a country that is viable when they can get oil and gas for free and sell it at very high and exorbitant prices abroad, even bring it back to you to buy at over 500 naira per liter of fuel? Because you are foolish. Because you are a Nigerian, because you cannot reason properly. That is why they try to engage some of you.